Join me today as I'm doing a bit of a kitchen restock and also trying out my new spray mop. It seems like there's just a lot of little tasks to do around the kitchen today, so I thought I would tackle some of them. If you watched my last video, you saw me make 1 hour cinnamon rolls, and so we have a few left after the week, and I'm just going to throw them in the freezer so we can eat them at a later date. I found the easiest way to freeze cinnamon rolls is to separate them into plastic wrap, and then I'll put these in a Ziploc bag to put into the freezer. It makes it really easy to just pull one out at a time if you want like a quick breakfast or snack during the day. I've learned the hard way that it's really important to write on the Ziploc bag before you put it into the freezer. If there's ever frost on your food, you might not know what it is, so I always write on the bag. I also like to put the date because you just never know how long some food has been in there. Another kitchen item I need to take care of is making some homemade chocolate syrup. We really like mocha coffee or chocolate milk, and instead of buying the Hershey's, squirt bottle, I go ahead and I just make our own. So it's really simple ingredients and it's really quick to throw together. This recipe uses water, cocoa powder, and sugar to start with. You just heat that on medium heat and you try to incorporate all of the ingredients as it's heating up. It does take a minute, but if you stir long enough, then you will be able to make a chocolate syrup out of it. After it's all stirred together, then you just wait for it to come to a boil. You'll notice in the video that it doesn't actually boil, but it does start to foam up. So at this stage, I turn the heat down a little bit, and then I set a 3-minute timer, and then you're just going to stir continuously as that chocolate syrup thickens. Sometimes it even gets too hot, so I just lift it off and I keep stirring, making sure that I'm not letting it boil over. After the 3-minute timer goes off, I add the rest of the ingredients, which is just salt and vanilla extract. After I stir those in, I just leave it out until it's at the right temperature to put in the fridge. The next thing on my to-do list is to fill up the sugar canister and also the soap dispensers at the kitchen sink. We used to just wash our hands with dish soap, but that really dries out your skin. So now we have 2 separate soap dispensers. One of them I fill up with Castile soap, and then the other one is just dish soap. I only fill the Castile soap up part of the way, and then I cut it with water. That's what the bottle says to do, and also I think it helps with the foaming action on the dispenser. If you use Castile soap and you know the reason, I would love for you to comment and let me know. Now that the chocolate syrup is at room temperature, I just pour it into our glass jar, and then I'll put this in the fridge to use over the next few weeks. Next on my list is to mop the floor. So I figure I would start off with a high chair wipe down. It seems like crumbs get into every crook and cranny on the high chair, so I'm just brushing it onto the floor, and then I'll do a nice vacuum and we will use our new mop. I've got my little helper with me vacuuming the hardwood floor. So our house is pretty much 50-50, half hardwood floor, half carpet, so I'm just doing the hardwood today so I can test out the new mop. Now that baby's down for a nap, I'm going to open up the new mop and get it put together. We used to use a Swiffer, and that's what we've been using for years, but I don't enjoy the smell of Swiffers. I think it's strong and fake smelling, and also it just seems to make the floor dirty. Now that we have a baby crawling around, I'll notice that her pants get black if she crawls around like after Swiffering, so it just shows you that it's not actually cleaning the floor. So this, you can use your own cleaning solution, and if you noticed, I have some lemon-soaked vinegar. So I just put a few teaspoons in the dispenser, and I'm able to spray that as I go. I think the spray on this works great. It seems like it gets a good coverage on the floor. And also you can kind of decide if you want a lot of spray or a little spray, just how much you squeeze the handle, which is nice. If I can find it, I'll link the mop below if you're interested. I think it was around $30, so it wasn't too bad. And the pads are reusable, so you won't have to buy anything after the one purchase. Nothing beats having a nice, clean floor, and it's a really good sign that I'm excited to mop again. I'm really pleased with the mop purchase. Thanks so much for joining me as I did a bit of a restock and tried out my new mop. I will catch you in the next video.